This video will take you through getting you going with Clever Shipment Agent integration. We'll cover installing the app, the different setup you need to actually do, as well as the areas we need to be looking to review that setup. From the extension management page, we're going to go to Extension Marketplace. You can also search for this. We'll search for Clever Shipping Agent integration, and we'll just install the free trial. Select the correct language, and then wait for it to install. This can take a little bit of time. Once the installation has been ran, however, it will immediately take you to this page, where you can choose your two different sections for setting up Shipment Agent integration. I'll just use the icon in the upper right hand corner to turn this into a list, and you can see we've got two options: set up Clever Shipping Agent integration, and set up Shipping Agent with Clever Shipping Agent integration. You can use these two setup wizards to get Clever Shipment Agent integration up and running with ease. We'll start with set up Clever Shipping Agent integration, that top option. Choose to get the default configuration. Make sure default is selected and press OK. After a little bit of time, it'll be received, and you can choose to apply package with the blue notification across the top. Select Next. And then we need to make sure we're setting a consignment number series and a default content description. You probably won't have one of these already, so select New. Give it a code. I'm going to call this consign. Give it a description as well. And select into starting number. Here we're setting up the number series and how it functions. In the starting number field, I'm just going to enter in the start number for the number series I want to associate with this, and then close. Make sure you also tick default numbers. In default content description, you don't have to put this in here, but it'll actually appear in your consignments when you start creating them later on down the line. You can also choose to check items on document release. All this means that you're implementing a check on items to ensure that all fields required for shipping are populated during the process. Next, printing. If you're printing off any labels of Shipping Agent integration, we can do this automatically by selecting the print handler here. We don't have any set up on this system, but you can select yours if you have one ready. Then we have warehouse shipment options. We're configuring the options to use in our warehouse shipment documents by default. For ship and invoice exports, if we set it to yes, it removes the ship only option from warehouse shipments, as an invoice number must be specified for exports. So you have to ship and invoice as your option when it's an export. And there's also the option to bypass intercompany checks when you're using that ship and invoice exports option for when you're shipping intercompany. Next, we have interfaces. And at this point, you're going to want to make sure the wizard is expanded to maximize the page. Click the Interfaces menu in the upper left-hand corner there. And from this, get Default Interfaces. This will achieve the default interfaces with Clever Shipping Agent integration. These interfaces set the parameters for sharing with your shipping agent provider. Ones downloaded by default will be DHL, DHL Parcel, DPD, FedEx, Intersoft, UPS, and Yodel. Selecting the menu again and go into Parameters of one selected will open up the options for that particular shipping agent interface. If you're running Clever Document Delivery, this app allows you to send emails directly to the customer. And if installed, you'll be able to set the link up here. Next, we need to set up the shipping agent. And we can use the other setup wizard for this. You can see them on a different page, Assisted Setup. You can visit this page at any point to find those two setup wizards with ease. Where you can see here on my screen, I've got that original Setup Clever Shipping Agent integration, and the one we're about to use, Setup Shipping Agent with Clever Shipping Agent integration. Make sure this is in full screen with the arrow in the upper right hand corner. First of all, select the shipping agent code for this one. These will be the shipping agent codes that are currently set up within your system. Say yes, and select Next. Next, we need to actually link an interface code with this. We'll select the Yodel one for this, as it came through when we downloaded Clever Shipment integration and got our interfaces. For this particular one, I need to set up an identity and a password to link myself with that shipping agent. You may find more or less parameters depending on the shipping agent interface you're using. Essentially, these are the details we're going to be using to communicate with that shipping agent, so it's paramount to have them set up correctly. If you're not sure what these values should be for the different shipping agents you're using, check with your shipping agent themselves. Next, we need to set up an integration code. We'll match this to Yodel. That check items on document releases is here, which we can turn off for this particular agent. We then have default options to submit the consignment on warehouse posting, so that consignments are automatically submitted to the shipping agent when we post the warehouse document. We can also choose to open that consignment when we post the warehouse document as well. We can set a maximum number of expected packages, and the document upload process type to either submit then upload, or upload then submit. Next, we have our services for our shipping agent. These are already set up on our system. These are the different services we use when shipping things out with this agent. And we're going to choose to enable all of these with that enabled column for this particular shipping agent integration option. Selecting Next, we're then setting up the package information. These are the package types that we're going to be sending out. Just set up the code, packing code, and description. You can also go to Manage and Packaging Setup to make this a bit easier. So we have our code here for boxes, where we can set in the dimensions, units, and measure, the package length, width, height, and so on as required to have more information about it as available. That'll be able to feed back to our shipping agent. Click Next after filling in all your package types, and we can set up the labels that we're using for this. Clever Shipping Agent Integration may already fill this out for you. This is great as it helps you print out those actual labels associated with the shipment. You can set up your printer selections so they print off automatically if required. And that's it. Select Next and Finish. There's also one more page we need to set up correctly. Go to the search and take a look for Integration Setup. Select this from Go to Pages and Tasks. And this should be pre-populated with some information already. The endpoint should be populated. Make sure your sender ID is Clever Dynamics. Your filter delimiter is a comma. Modification offset seconds are 2. And you can also choose to send processing error notifications to a particular notification recipient or recipients. This is information taken from the integration setup page of the Clever Documents website, which you can find at docs.cleverdynamics.com. You can refer to this here should this information ever change. The system uses the logic within here when communicating with your shipping agents, so make sure this is set up appropriately. You notice that if we want to send it to 2 notification recipients, we have to separate these by semicolons. That way, when a processing error is found, we can email the correct people. To review, there's a few different pages we can check out. For example, the Interfaces page. This will list our interfaces we set up earlier. We can pick a particular one and go to Related and Parameters to change any of those details or parameters as we need to. Should we receive this information from a shipping agent that we need to fill this in with, we can then enter it from within here for our different shipping agents. If we go to the Shipping Agents page, this is a default page that lists all of our shipping agents within the system. You can see if an integration exists for a particular shipping agent if the Integration Exists column is ticked. With one of these selected, we can go to Shipping Agent and Shipping Agent Services to see all the various different services and if those particular ones are enabled for integration. From the Home menu, you can select Shipping Agent Card to open up the Shipping Agent Integration setup for that particular entity. Here you can find the things we set up earlier, such as the check items and document release, open consignment after posting, label, packaging codes, weight units and measure, maximum expected packages, and the packaging and label sections as well. Review and change this information as necessary. For example, under here in packaging, we're going to set this up for boxes if we didn't do so already. Finally, you'll notice from the Related menu across the top, you've got your services, which will show you all your enabled services for this particular shipping agent, and allow you to turn them on and off, as well as add new ones if you have the requisite information to add in here. That's how you can install, set up, and review Clever Shipping Agent integration. You can see this in use from our Getting Stuck In video.